Hi again folks, welcome to another day in the Vitesse bonnet. I finished stripping the paint off it, so it's all in bare metal now. I found a little dent. Where is it? There you can see it, just there. It was a dent upwards, so it looks like the bonnet's been closed on something at some time. I've tapped it down and I have to put a little tiny bit of filler over that. Next job is to go round, check all my welding, weld up any little pinholes in the repair panels I've done, grind it down and then put some filler on it and flat that and then put some primer on it. So we'll see how far we get today. Right, that's the few little pinholes welded up, and I've just put a little skim of filler over it. There were some marks in the metal which almost looked they were factory marks. They were only very faint, but I've just skimmed a little bit of filler over them. They were like little dig marks in the metal that were there under the original paint. So that's it really, just put a skim of filler over these bits just where I've done the repairs, just to perfect them. So now I've got to let the filler dry and then sand it all down, and hopefully we'll be ready to put some paint on, although I have got to prep the inside first, so that could be another day's work. Right, there's one last job to do before I paint the car, and that's well, there's a lot of jobs to do. Right, there's one last panel to prep, and that is the windscreen surround on the top of the bulkhead. I'm not worrying about the bottom of the bulkhead. I can always paint that at a later date. I'm just painting what shows at the moment. So what I'm going to have to do, take the masking off around the windscreen. I'll leave it there. I'll just cut round it and tape it in so it keeps it clean. I have got somewhere a new windscreen rubber that I bought, which is there. So it's been here about a year, so I'm going to check that, make sure it's the right rubber, and then I'm going to cut out, I've got up there I've got a new trim for it as well, which should be this one, I think. Yeah, that's the trim for it. Yeah, that's the trim. So I'm going to check the rubber, make sure it's the right rubber for the screen, and then I'm going to cut the old rubber out. It's not in bad condition. Yes, it is. It's all hard and horrible. Yeah, definitely going to cut that out, and then I don't risk hopefully breaking the glass. Well, that's most of the windscreen surround done. I'm not taking it all back to bare metal because it's the original paint and it's quite well stuck on. So I put a little bit of rust killer on the worst bit along there and a little bit on the top of that. And now we'll leave that overnight. And then that just wants a hand flat down and that'll be pretty much ready for primer. So good, yeah, happy with that. Right, another day. Finished prepping the skull surround. So I'm going to mask it all up, get some primer on that. And I might even paint it because it's one of those panels that doesn't really affect anything else. Plus, when I've got the doors on, it's hard to get in these corner bits. So I might prep it, prime it and then paint it and get that bit finished. That's it all prepped up and masked. So now I'm going to put the heat on, get a bit of warmth in the garage and mix some primer up and give it a coat of primer. Right, got the first coat on. I've now got the blower going again. I've cleared the fumes, get the blower on, try and get the temperature up a bit. We're about 58 degrees at the moment. Try and get it up a bit and dry it off, and then I'll put a second coat on it. But the first coat's come out really well. So might actually get this painted today. I'm just going to show you the primer that I'm using for this job. It's called Pro XL Generation 20 4:1 Primer Filler High Solids Grey. Get a litre of that and you get a quarter of a litre of hardener for it. Mix it 4:1 as it says. It's 2-pack, so you do need a full breathing mask for it. But they're not expensive. This one I bought, which has got all the gear, plus it's got water traps, air traps, everything on it. That one cost me about £90, I think. But you definitely need one of those if you're using this stuff, and let the fumes clear before you go back into the garage. But it's a great primer. It dries really quick. It fills any small imperfections and it's dead easy to flat. So yeah, really good bit of kit. I'm very pleased with it. Right, that's it. 2 good coats on, put the last one on nice and heavy. So what that needs is time to dry off now. So I'm going to put the heater on, leave it for about an hour and let it really cook off. I know it's not quite up to paint booth temperature, but I can get it up to 80-90 degrees in here and that will dry it off pretty quick. Well, we're not doing bad. Got it up to nearly 88 degrees in here. So paint's drying nicely. And I'm really pleased with it. It's really smooth. So I'll probably get away with just a little scotch off before I put the top coat on. So we'll see what happens. Right, now it's all nicely dried off. So now I'm going to give it a good scotch off, just with grey Scotch pad. Now you can hear with the Scotch pad, at the moment I've just gone over this bit, so this bit's sounding nice and smooth. When you go on a rough bit, you can hear, I don't know if you can on the video, but you can actually hear when it's rough. And you can see it as well, it starts to shine up a bit. But you can hear the roughness of it, and that noise disappears as you scotch it flat. That's the first coat on, and I've given it a little while to tack off. So now I'm going to put a second coat on. Right, that's the second coat just tacked off. I put the first two coats, I turned the gun right down to a really fine spray, and I put the first two coats on quite heavy. Now what I'm going to do is just flash it over with a much thinner coat, just to basically give it a top. So let's have a go at that. Right, that's it, 3 coats of paint on. That's enough for this week. I'm going to leave it now to dry off, and then I can actually put the windscreen back in it, save it hanging about to get broken. I can fit the windscreen back in and I can just mask that bit off when I'm painting the rest of the car. That bit's good to do first because the doors overlap it, the bonnet, if it's closed, overlaps it. So now it's painted, I can just mask it off and forget that bit and paint the rest of the car. So job tomorrow is go to the paint shop. Now I've decided it's going to be Old English White, and get another couple of litres, because I'm going to need at least 4, maybe 5 litres to cover this whole car. So I shall go and get some more. So that's it for this week. Thanks for watching, folks. If you give me a like or a subscribe, that would be absolutely wonderful. See you again. Cheers. Bye.